Good isn't good enough, and good enough isn't great. Most of us think we're good, but how do we grow our people and our company into something truly great? I think it's training and marketing. The problem is, it's impossible to be great at everything because being great at anything takes a lot of time and effort to develop, and it pulls away from everything else we should be doing. Then, once it is developed, sharing great ideas and implementing best practices company wide, it's an afterthought because we have to get back to our primary job. We have and are adding very experienced people and branches that can bring a lot of great and different ideas. But unknowingly and unintentionally, our industry breeds a tendency to hoard information versus disseminating it because distribution takes time that nobody's committing to. For example, how are we going to onboard and revolutionize all these new people and branches that we've spent so much time, money, and effort to bring on to make them great? Are we just going to throw them against the wall and see if they stick? Or run some sort of thrown together mentor program that has no consistency to the message? Once trained, how do we distribute new information? Do we hold meetings where half the staff doesn't show up and a fourth aren't paying attention? Have conference calls that start 20 minutes late where 5 minutes of it is complaining because someone put us on hold that can barely be heard so people fade off and do something else? Do we rely on update emails that may or may not be read that are more likely filed away never to be found again? Think about all the things the LO has to do. These are just some of the minimums, and shortcomings in any of these can be detrimental to production. Are we expecting onboarding, mentoring, and conference calls, emails to teach the Revolution way of doing all this? And that's just the LO. Without solid, consistent training, it leaves everyone to try to figure out how to do things on their own. Sure, they can try to ask around, but how many people are interrupted by it, and who's to say you're going to get the right answer? The inability to put out small fires early allows them to grow into raging infernos later. We are all creatures of habit, and without clarity and accountability to change, we tend to revert back to what we know, which is running to management for things we should be able to do on our own. And if that's at the core of our culture now, without a targeted effort to change it, the problem is just going to get bigger as we grow. This creates panic, frustration, and slows down the entire company. It is an incredibly inefficient and costly strategy, if you can even call it that. In less than 9 minutes, this video is an example of how I can present a need, propose new concepts, pitch a completely new marketing and training strategy, and propose a new position. Videos are pretty effective and completely eliminate the "I do it this way" from any conversation and replace it with "we do it this way." It streamlines processes and makes everybody happier and more efficient. Okay, so that covers training. What about marketing? Marketing is about finding and selling potential home buyers on the idea of working with us. We can sell on the idea of being cheap or by being unique. But what if we could do both? How can we get from being here and average to here and great? We spend an enormous amount of money and effort trying to find these buyers. We're purchasing them for the internet, schmoozing agents, begging for referrals, smile and dialing, and countless other effective and non-effective campaigns, and eventually, yeah, some will close. Unfortunately, all of this drives our price of doing business up, a cost that we then have to pass on to the borrower. Let's use internet leads, for example. The close ratio on most lead marketing campaigns is what? 3? 5%? Are you telling me that 95% of the potential buyers we talk to never buy a home? Of course not. They do, they just don't buy with us. So the question is, why? For whatever reason, they just aren't ready when we talk to them. Forgotten by their LO in the race to close the next loan, they're eventually distracted by some flashy ad for low rates. Sweet-talked by another LO, stolen away from an agent's lender. They fall through the cracks because we weren't in front of them when they were ready. That may be what we tell ourselves, but let's be honest. Other than the individual LO's ability, we have given them nothing special. Why should we expect them to come back? So, how do we save more of these? How can we show the buyers and the agents that we are special? We are unique. How do we earn more of these? I suggest we help people. I know we all want to help people, but really? We get paid. Our company gets paid to close their loans. Anything else is pro bono. Let's face it, teaching borrowers doesn't get us paid. It's time consuming, repetitive, and the return on investment's minimal, so most LOs just move on to the next loan they think they can close. But that doesn't mean that the borrowers still don't have questions, it just means we're not answering them. Our YouTube channel can be packed with step-by-step, easy to follow home buyer and program breakdown videos that can actually help them understand what it takes to buy and how to do it. Blogs, social media posts on every possible outlet, every email signature, every flyer, every piece of marketing should point to a corresponding video that gets them to our channel with a call to action not to commit to doing a loan with us right now, just subscribe and share the channel. At that point, follow-up becomes much easier. No other LO is going to have something like this. It becomes their trusted resource, and when they're ready, they'll go back. And it'll be there, constantly sharing our message 24/7, 365 on their schedule. That knowledge turns them into super buyers. They create less slowdowns, and they don't do things to screw up their closings. Everybody will appreciate not having to spend time on either educating or dealing with ignorant buyers. LOs have more time to go out and get more business, research and become experts at more programs, develop additional marketing campaigns, spend more time with their family, or just doing something besides work. Managers have to put out less fires, freeing them up to focus on running and growing our business. Super buyers and their agents have better experience and an easy way to share their great tools with their friends and families and clients. Our loan acquisition costs go down, and the savings can be passed on to the borrowers and reinvested back into the company. We are now unique and inexpensive, and that, my friends, is the holy grail. I'm not suggesting that this replace any of the marketing we're currently doing. I'm saying that this will elevate all the marketing we're doing. This will enhance each LO's business model, strategy, and selling style, no matter what it is. We just need to get them trained to put people on the channel and provide great content when they get there. We haven't even talked about how attractive this could be as a recruiting tool. Hopefully you can see that there is so much we can do with this, and I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. I can't imagine what we can do with some direction and some buy-in with you guys. This is a game changer. So let's talk economics. Marketing this way is just training buyers to work with us. So the two go hand in hand. I'm not only proposing doing the job of the marketing and training departments, I'm offering to do both in a completely new, inventive, and effective way. And heck, you don't even have to pay my benefits. You guys are in the position of needing to write this book from scratch. You have a clean slate to build this company however you want. And videos like this should be the pillar of a new business in this digital world. And the next generation of YouTube addicted buyers and employees, this is going to do nothing but grow. So put your efforts where your name is and create a true revolution in the mortgage industry. Let's make the complex easier to understand and the obvious, well, obvious. And let's be great.